All right, here we go. Day 61 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We finally get to put an end to Python, thank God. We are at section 12, I believe. Yeah, because section 13, as we've gone over some weird other non-Codecademy based thingy activity. But the last Codecademy activity is this: file input and output. Now, there weren't that many sections to it, but it's either going to be extremely difficult, even though there's only 9 sections, or, fingers crossed, it could be a breeze. No one knows. No one knows. Alright, let's just get to it, yeah? Let's end this thing. See it to believe it. Until now, the Python code you've been writing comes from one source and only goes to one place. You type it into the keyboard and its results are displayed in the console. But what if you want to read information from a file on your computer and or write that information to another file? This process is called file input output. Oh, well, I jumped ahead. The IO stands for input output. Okay, so we were right. And Python has a number of built-in functions that handle this for you. Check out the code in the editor to the right. Note that you now have an extra output text tab, which is just an empty text file that's all about to change. Click Save and Submit to check out the code output text tab to see Python's file input output powers in action. My list I squared for I in range 1 to 11 generates a list of squares of the number 1 to 10. F equals open output text W for item in my list F write string item plus /n F close. I don't know what any of those mean. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. I assume they're going to explain everything in more detail. Fingers crossed. The open function. Let's walk through the process of writing to a file one step at a time. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. The first code that you saw executed in the previous exercise was this: F open output text W. We did see that. I even read it out loud. This told Python to open output text in W mode, which stands for write. Interesting. Good call. We stored the result of this operation in a file, object F. Aha, W is write, F is file. Oh, I thought little kitty was here. She's gone. We're all alone. We're learning Python by ourselves. Fair enough. Doing this opens the file in write mode and prepares Python to send data into the file. Create a variable, my file, set it equal to calling open function on output text. In this case, pass r plus as the second argument of the function, so the file will allow you to read and write to it. For details, you can open files in write mode only, W, read only mode, R, read and write mode, R plus, and append mode, A, which adds any new data you write to the file to the end of the file. Aha, okay. So, create a variable, my file, copy, equals, set it equal to open function. Set output text. In fact, I think it's going to be very similar to this, minus the W. It should be an R plus. Beautiful. Okay, section 3, writing. Good work. Now it's time to write some data to our output text file. We've added the list comprehension from the first exercise to the code in the editor. Our goal in this exercise will be to write each element of that list to output text shown in a new tab above the editor with each number on its own line. We can write to a Python file like so. myfile.write data to be written. The write function takes a string argument, so we'll need to do a few things here. You must choose the file. You do this simply by calling myfile.close. We did this for you in the last exercise. If you don't close your file, MyPython won't write to it properly. From here on out, you gotta close your files. Okay. So, close. I guess I have to close it at the end. Use my close. So at the bottom of it, close out the file. Hey, Topher, how you doing? We just started. Section 1 was just noise. Section 2 was, well, you can see section 2 here. And just going over the opening of the function and what the different things stand for, as in W, write only, read only mode is just R, read and write, R plus, and append, it was A. It'll write it to the bottom of the file or the end of the file. Why doesn't it not like... You know what? I think it's because of the don't mind the error. I think it's because they allow it to pass that first time they were discussing it in section 3, closing out the file, which we need to do now. So that's where we're at. That's where I'm at. Okay. Good work. Now it's time to write some data. We read all that noise. Instructions. 1. Iterate over my list to get each value. Use myFileWrite to write each value to output text. Make sure to call a string on the iterating data, so .write will accept it. Make sure to add a new line, /n. That's what /n is for. Interesting. After each element to ensure each will appear on its own line, use myfile.close to close out the file when you're done. Remember the syntax for iterating over a list looks like this. For item in list, do something. You should write to the file inside your iterator, but you should close the file outside your iterator. Oh. You should write to the file inside your iterator, but you should close the file outside of your iterator. Otherwise, you'll attempt to close the file after you write each line. Okay, I gotcha. So we'll set up this, or a loop or whatever we're going to be doing. We'll write to it. Then once we're done, we'll have it outside of the loop, and that's when we'll close it. That way it closes the whole file. Okay, otherwise you'll attempt to close line. The syntax for calling string looks like, yeah, string. Okay, so that's not too bad. Here we go. Iterate over my list to get each value. So for I in my list, use myFileWrite to write each value to output text. Was it a string? I think it's a string. Does that seem right? Doesn't seem right to me, but we'll keep piecing this together slowly but surely. It'll yell at us when we get it wrong, and we can correct course then. Make sure to call string on the iterating data, so dot right will accept it. So we're going to be turning something into a string, so dot right can accept it. Conceptually, I get it. Like, I understand the reasoning, I'm just not sure how to write it. My list, so we've got my list, I squared for I in range 1 to 11, which will spit out 1 to 10. My file, open, output text, read and write, add your code below. For I in my list, my file write, output text, make sure to call string, iterating data for the dot right will accept it. Feel like it's going to be string something or other. Dot right. Maybe it's my list or my file. My something. What's going down? In the write method, you're passing the data to write to the file. Oh wait, my file represents the file you want to write to. My file represents the file that I want to write to, and I'm working with my list. I'm going to be doing stuff with my list, and I'm going to be sending it to my file. So for each blah in my list, I'm going to be writing my file.write output. So I'll be returning, I think I'll be returning stuff. Make sure to add a new line /n after each element. Make sure it appears on its own line. They had that in section 1. They had a great example in section 1, and then use my file close at the end. Outside. We're going to save and submit. It's an error, but that's okay. Save and submit. Close. Actually, we're going to copy this even. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Section 1. D ba-deep deep 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 deep. Here we go. I'm overcomplicating this. Oh god. Well, at least we're on track. Or at least I haven't changed, which is probably for the worse, but that's okay. We're going to take all of that noise. Okay, which we don't need this bit here, because fortunately it saved it. F close. So for my list, they have F open, which I've got my file open. 4 items in my list. Dot right. So I was correct. Like my, I don't know. I don't think I want my file. I think I want my list. Oh no, they have F there. And we're opening F. So I do want my file. I think I put my file accidentally, so that worked out well. So write String. Oh, we were just off by a little. Let's get rid of yeah, let's get rid of you. We're gonna do string. D D D D D D D. Da 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 da. After right. String. The item I think is output text. Maybe it's not output text. Maybe it's the item. Maybe it's the I. Maybe I do put I. This is brutal. Brutal. And then throw in our friend plus n as they had mentioned down here. So we're just going to copy their format. Copy plus n. And then close the file. I think that should be okay. We should delete, what's Topher saying? My file dot string and then item, lowercase I. Okay, yeah. Oh, lowercase I? What did I put? Oh yeah, no, I put a lowercase I. Okay, yeah, that's very... Yeah, I was going off of their example, so I ended up in what looks to be the right place. Nice. Let's get rid of this. Not sure why there's an error code there, but it gave me a green check mark. This is one of those Codecademy inconsistencies that we've grown to love. Traceback, most recent call, last, Python, line 3. No such file or directory. I guess it's not there yet. But this is what we filled out in section 2, so I guess that's on them. Not to worry. Green check mark. Section 4. Reading. Excellent. You're a pro. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. Finally, we want to know how to read from our output text file, as you might expect. We do this with the read function like so. Print myfile.read. It's fairly straightforward. Declare a variable, myfile, set it equal to the file object return by calling open with both output text and R. Next, print the result of using read dot read on my file, like the example shown. Make sure to close your file when you're done with it. All kinds of doom will happen if you don't. Always close. Good. Hint, remember the syntax for opening a file looks like this. We've got variable, open, file name, and the mode we want to open it. So far, that's been a very helpful example. The mode, that's good. Well, it should work, but who knows? Yeah, exactly. There is the error is a known Codecademy bug. If you refresh the browser, it will work. Oh. Well, I trust them. We've made it 61 days this far and haven't lit too many cities on fire. Most citizens are still alive, so, you know, win some, lose some. Okay. We are going to take instruction 1, declare a variable, my file. Set it equal to open. Copy. Open. Which mode? R. read only. Next, print the result of using myfile.read. Print my file. Oh, straight O. Dot read. And make sure to close. Damn it, I'm drawing a blank on the exact close form. Was it just myfile.close? I think it was myfile.close. Oh, God, of course I did. Oh, God. Oh, God. What's going on? What's going on? Myfile.close. I think that's it. Fingers crossed this should work, right? Aha! Look at that. 1 to 100. It worked. Nice. The cities that burned down no one liked anyways. Exactly. See, you know, it's all's fair and, you know, love and war and whatnot. Section 4, down. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Section 5, reading between the lines. What if we want to read from a file line by line rather than pulling the entire file at once? Thankfully, Python includes a read line function that does exactly that. Well, that sounds handy as hell. If you open a file and call .readline on the file object, you'll get the first line of the file. Subsequent calls to read line will return successive lines. Okay, I got the read line for the first line bit. Not sure this is going. Declare a new variable, myfile. Store the result calling open on text.text file in the read-only mode. On 3 separate lines, print out the result of calling myfile.readline to see how it gets to the next line each time. Don't forget to close your file when you're done with it. Remember to open a file, variable equals blah blah blah. To read from the file, you can just call variable readline to make sure to close your file once you're done reading from it. Good. Here we go. Open text r my file. Open. Copy. On 3 separate lines, so that we've got my file. 3 separate lines. Print out the result of calling my file read line. Do I do it 3 times in a row? Doesn't that seem a little odd? I should have just typed that. Like, the way it sounds like they want it 1, 2, 3, and then close. I don't think that's right. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Super duper terrible. Something about errors. How are you today, by the way? Allergies any better? This half of my face, yeah, like right here, doesn't really breathe. So, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a lack of water. Although they keep slamming water bottles down left and right. But this is normal. In the world of Steven, this is pretty good. So yeah, not bad. Better, you know what, better than yesterday. Still can't breathe, but better than yesterday. So yeah. We'll stick with that as our answer. Oops, try again. Sorry, but I'm gonna need you to refresh the page. Don't worry, your code is saved. Trace back. Recent call, Python, line 1. What's wrong with line 1? It's beautiful. No such directory. Close. Refresh the page. Do I refresh my whole page? We'll give it a shot. D. Oh, did save all my code. Save and submit. I'm gonna need you to refresh the page. I'm gonna need you to go to hell. Let's see. No such file. Text.txt. Let's try just one of these. Still doesn't like that. Maybe I need to refresh and just try one. Deem. We've got the beef. Yes. Issues. Line 5. Reading between the lines. We'll check the forum. Reading between lines. Issue with reading between the lines. Told you it's a known bug. Well, so be it. But, I mean, there's gotta be a way to complete the Python course, right? Something intermediate. I tried to do with the instructions. I tried to do... Whoa. English, please. I tried to do what in the instructions as in given below. Super duper terrible. But we'll ignore that. Declare new variable, my file, store result calling open, text file, read-only mode, 3 separate lines, print out, blah diddy blah da blah. See how it goes next time. Don't forget to close your file when you're done with it. My code for this above is given below, and I'm getting an error. Oops, try again. Sorry, but I'm going to need you to refresh the page. Don't worry, can anyone help me with this problem? This exercise buggy sometimes gives user trouble. The text.txt file might not exist. And this to beginning, add this to the beginning of your code so that it creates the file, write some line to it. It doesn't yet exist. 3 likes for this. If the file does exist, it will replace the content. After that, you can open and read it. We're just going to take this, just dump it right in our code. I guess you misread the instructions. Instead of using read, you have to put dot read line. He's got dot read. I've got dot read line. And 3. Okay, so I was right with that noise. It's just the file issue. It's the file issue. Yes, this exercise is buggy, as many users have discovered. My question, why don't they fix it? I mean, it's a coding website where you learn to code. Why don't they just have one of the interns, fix the code? Is that weird? Am I asking too much? Maybe I don't get how this whole coding thing works. That must not be how this coding thing works. Let's take this. Drop it in. Maybe... Did you create a variable called myFile? And now it's all gone. Okay, that. There's that. Let's just get rid of this. Oh, that's right. They're rewriting Python. I keep forgetting. It's ironic, though, that they're teaching file input and output, and the error is related to file input output. That's true. All right. But yes, summer, the new Python, and I forget what else. I think HTML and a couple other courses are getting upgraded, polished, updated, if you will. All right, trying again. Boom. D. Section 6. PSA, buffering data. We keep telling you that you always need to close your files after you're done writing them. Here's why. During the input-output process, data is buffered. This means that it is held in a temporary location before being written to the file. Python doesn't flush the buffer, that is, write data to the file, until it's sure you're done writing. One way to do this is to close the file. If you write to a file without closing, the data won't make it to the target file. Okay, that makes sense. Fair enough. Instructions. Check out the extremely bad code in the editor. Click Save and Submit. You'll note that our read file.read didn't read any data back. The text still appears in text.text, though, because we close the file behind the scenes for you. Safety first. 1. Add a write file close call on line 9. Okay, so we're going to be adding stuff there. Add a read file close on line 13 down below. Run the code again. This time you'll see the data come through. Okay, so I think I'm just adding those two and then pulling the trigger. But I want to check once more because they said run it something. What? Check our extremely bad code. Click Save and Submit. You'll note. So I think I'm supposed to pull it now, because then they're saying run it again. Here goes nothing. They're saying run this and then run that. Note closing files is very bad. Close. Text. Script. The code that was there. Open file for reading. Open file for reading. Read file. Open. Text.text. Read only. Use a second file handler to open the file for writing. Write file. Open text.w. Writing. Write to the file. Write file. Write. Not closing file is very bad. We're going to add our code to 9. Try to read from the file. Print read file read, and then 2. Read file close. Hey, little kitty. What are you doing? Where you at? Yeah, I know. We're only a couple more sections away from finishing Python. Hey, that's right. Ooh, good. Good. Because you're not blocking the monitor. That's why you're a good cat. Yeah, okay, and you just went to the evil kitty dark side. And you're back to the light side again. Really can't make up your mind on this whole good and evil thing, can you? Yeah, you should look into that. Well, as long as you don't type anything with your feet, keep feeding you. Alright, no, no, no. Oh god, no. Just stop trying to scratch your face on the webcam. Can I just pull the trigger? Not for you, little cat, but for the code. I'm gonna do it. I can't see what's happening. It's loading. It's green. It's green. Not closing files is very bad. Little kitty agrees. Little kitty agrees. Ugh, you're furry. Disgusting. Wow, the webcam is just like plastered in your fur. Holy Jesus. Oh my god. There we go. Is that... It's just everywhere. Okay, crisis averted. That was close. That was close. Next lesson. Is everything okay? I think so. Yeah, look at that. We got the mic and the me, and the webcam. There's a lack of fur now. Beautiful, beautiful. Section 7. The with and as keywords. Programming is all about getting the computer to do the work. Oh god. Unfortunately, computers don't have to breathe. You know what? Take that back. They do have to breathe. Damn. My computer's doing better than I am. So close. Programming is all about getting the computer to do work. Is there a way to get Python to automatically close our files for us? Of course there is. This is Python. Aha! And the secrets come out. They've been tricking us. Not tricking us. Showing us the proper way of doing it without all the cool tricks. It's an important skill. You may not know this, but file objects contain a special pair of built-in methods. Enter and exit. The details aren't important, but what is important is that when a file object exits, when a file's but what is important is that when a file object's exit method is invoked, it automatically closes the file. How do we invoke this method? With and as. The syntax looks like this. With open file mode as variable. Read or write. This is like the lambda thing all over again. The handy format. Sandwich with as and lambda together. You drop in the super call, we'll get crazy. We'll just stack all this shit together. Create some Python Frankenstein. An abomination of code. It's going to be awesome. Okay, instructions. Check out the example in the code editor. Note that we don't explicitly close our file. And remember that if we don't close a file, our data will get stuck in the buffer. Click Save and Submit to check out text.text to see the results. We have with open text.text write as text file write success. So we're going to save and submit. Ta-da! Success. Look at that. Very nice. Okay, section 8. Try it yourself. It worked. Our Python program successfully wrote to text instructions. Now you try. Write any data you'd like to the text.text file using with ... as. Give your file object the usual name, my file, hint, remember your syntax, blah 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 blah. So that's basically what we're going to be doing here. We're just going to swap in our own, basically our own thoughts, in regards to text.text and my file. You know what? We're actually kind of limited, so there is one right way of doing this. So let's go from the top. With open file will be text.text as a string. Stringy text, our favorite kind. Mode. Probably is a write. I think that's the whole point of doing this, is for it to close when we're writing to a file. So, write. Maybe we can do read and write. We'll just stick with write. No need to get fancy. Just move on to the next bit. Write as my file. God, I hope I did that correctly. Is there a colon? I kind of feel like there's a colon after it. Yeah, super colon. There's probably more stuff that I should be adding afterwards. I don't know if I can drop in a pass. I don't know if it works that way. Let's see what errors we get when we run it as is. Beautiful, beautiful. Your syntax doesn't look quite right. Check hint for help and blah, blah, blah. Leave that. We're going to reference section 7, because I'm already drawing a blank. They had some thing underneath. Text file write. I actually need to write something to it. So it'll be my file dot write something. That's what's going on. So my file dot write blah. Beautiful, beautiful. My file dot write something. I figured it out. Ha ha ha. Deal with it. There we go. Fingers crossed we get this wrong, because an error after this would just be spectacular. So close. We needed an error code that said, ha ha ha, you didn't get it right. Next time. Alright, section 8. Conquered. Section 9. It loads. We got stuck on the green check mark, and this is where it ends. We came so close to getting through Python after all this time, and we can't get to the section 9 of lesson 12. Once more. There we go. Had us hanging on the edge there. Hey, and they kept our code from section 8. Cool. Alright. Case closed. Question mark. Sounds awful. We're gonna be here for a friggin' month. Maybe not. Let's see what happens. Happy thoughts, right? We're nearing the final moments of Python. Case close. Finally, we want a way to test whether a file we've opened is closed. Sometimes we'll have a lot of different file objects open, and if we're not careful, they won't all be closed. How can we test this? F open bg text f dot close false, f close f dot closed true. Pretty sure they're going to explain all that stuff, because I'm not sure what they're getting at. Python file objects have a closed attribute, which is true when the file is closed and false otherwise. Gotcha, that makes sense. By checking file object.closed, we'll know whether our file is closed and can call closed on it if it's still open. This is all making sense now. Instructions. Below your with as code, do two things. Dos, which is weird because they have a list of 4. That's confusing. But that's Codecademy fashion. Do two things following these 4 instructions. Check if the file is not closed. Dot close. So if blank dot close. So I'm assuming if my file dot closed. 2. If that's the case, all dot close. Call dot close on it. So if is to check. and then we're actually going to call that action. No if, just drop a dot closed on it. 3. If you don't need an else here, 3. You don't need an else here, since your if statement should do nothing if closed is true. Okay, just ifs. We're given 0 else's today. After your if statement, print out the value of myFile.closed. Make sure your file is really closed. Okay, so then we're going to print the if statement. So it is just 2 things. It's just kind of a weird delivery. Hint. If statements look like this. If expression, do something. Oh, I'm so glad they took the time to put that in. Dear God. Here we go. If the file is not closed. If my file dot closed. If that's the case, call dot closed on it. My file dot closed. There's probably a colon. Yeah, there's always a colon. The almighty colon. We both respect and fear the colon. If that's the case, call close on it. You don't need an else here, since it should do nothing if closed is true. So 3 really isn't an instruction. That's really more of an asterisk worthy comment. 4, after your if statement, print out the value of my file closed. So now we're going to be doing print my file closed. And I wonder, I guess I would indent it from here. Print my file closed. Or I think it's from inside of it. Let's see if it gives us a green check mark. What's going down? You need to check if the file is not closed. Oh. That's why they put an asterisk in it. Check if the file is not closed. So how the link's a property of the file object, not a method, so parentheses are needed on it. My file dot closed. Yeah, I'm not worried about the dot or the parentheses. Where do I put the not? If my file not my file dot closed, that seemed a little excessive. My file, if my file not my file dot closed, all my file dot close and then print it. Also, maybe both of these don't go with an if. It's just something needs to happen if we call the if. Oh, it's not a method, so no parentheses are needed. My file dot close, remove the parentheses. Aha. Oh, closed versus close. Gotcha. No parentheses on closed. I feels. Gotcha. Wow, not true. Of course, that makes so much more sense. I don't know what I was so fixated on this, all the past tools just totally went out the window. Oh. Someone did not earn their food for dinner tonight. Going to sleep with no food again. Damn. Not cool. If my file dot closed is not true, then close my file. Now inside the if block, do my file dot close. So close. So closed is the status. Close is the action. So closed is the status. Close is the action we're taking. Print closed. There we go. Again, I may need to move the indent of the print, to wherever, but I'm semi-comfortable with it indented where it's currently at. See, boom. Who called it? I called it. Let's back that up. And we'll just keep running it till we're happy. Boom! Figured it out. Input, output. Very nice. Python. Hard. File input, output. Close. Now, next. I wonder if you really have to pay to complete Python. Let's see what they say. Because I would find that very odd. Oh no, Python completed. Look at that. Ah, damn. So, they do have this alternative project, but what I'm going to save for... again, upgrade, I'm not going to upgrade, at least not now. But for my alternative side project, I'm going to be doing Topher found or created what looks to be a rather interesting challenge or a MicroPython project that I can kind of work on after. So due to lack of time, it's 8:54 and I need to call this at 9 basically. So we're going to basically end it here today, but that means tomorrow's stream we're going to be tackling that side project that Topher has for us. So that should be interesting. Little kitty, you're clicking on things. Oh my god. No. Let's go back. Bad whiskers. I'm going to move you. I just need to finish the stream. So that's that. Let's take a look at where we stand badge-wise. 61 days. We have 667 points and currently stand with 93 badges and 8 skills down. How you like that, little kitty? Tell your little cat friends. That means we've now got Python, deploy a website, learn Git, learn the command line, make a website, learn Sass, learn JavaScript, and learn HTML and CSS Part 1 in the bag. And aside from Topher's side project to the cherry on top of Python, HTML and CSS, we're going to take a look at the catalog. So we will finish, we're going to embark on this after we do our Python side project that Topher has so kindly provided for us. So yeah, I doubt we'll get to that tomorrow. That'll probably be, what is that, a Saturday thing? So yeah, but good times. Good times. Awesome. All right, well, that's it for today. Let's close out of this. Topher, thanks for stopping by. Thank you in advance for the handy side project that we get to tackle tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's about it. Way cool. Way cool. in OBS. Do we want to stop the stream? Absolutely. Are you sure? Hell yeah. Kill it.